Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. In a world that celebrates individualism and self-sufficiency, we often overlook one of the most powerful forces shaping our well-being: human connection. In The Art and Science of Connection, Why Social Health is the Missing Key to Living Longer, Healthier, and Happier, Kasley Killam presents a compelling case for why our relationships, far beyond just being a source of emotional comfort, are essential to our physical, mental, and overall health. This book isn't just about making friends or improving your social life, it's about understanding that the quality of your connections could be the single most important factor in determining how long and how well you live. Killam draws upon cutting-edge research in psychology, neuroscience, and public health to unveil a startling truth: while diet, exercise, and sleep are widely recognized as pillars of health, our social relationships are often ignored, despite being equally, if not more, crucial to our longevity. Isolation and loneliness, Killam reveals, are more than just emotional burdens, they are silent killers, with studies showing that chronic loneliness can have the same detrimental effects as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The book opens with a powerful anecdote: a patient in his 50s, physically healthy, suddenly collapses and dies. The cause? Extreme loneliness. This shocking event becomes a wake-up call for Killam, who begins to question how a society that prizes technological advancement, personal success, and individual achievement could neglect something so fundamentally human. Why do we fail to prioritize our social health, and what is the cost? As Killam explores these questions, she uncovers an undeniable truth: humans are wired for connection. From our earliest ancestors, who relied on tribes for survival, to modern-day communities, where support networks buffer us from stress and illness, the need for connection is ingrained in our biology. Yet, in the rush of modern life, many of us find ourselves more disconnected than ever, tethered to screens, but detached from meaningful relationships. But Killam doesn't just paint a grim picture of the loneliness epidemic, she offers hope. Through stories of individuals who have transformed their lives by fostering stronger connections, and communities that have redefined health by prioritizing social bonds, she demonstrates that it's never too late to rebuild your social health. Whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, or somewhere in between, The Art and Science of Connection provides actionable insights into how you can cultivate the relationships that will add years to your life and life to your years. Killam invites readers to rethink what it means to be healthy. It's not just about cutting out sugar or hitting the gym, it's about nurturing the relationships that feed your soul. From fostering intimacy with loved ones to building a support system of friends and colleagues, the book reveals that the most overlooked key to a happy, fulfilling, and healthy life is within our grasp. As you turn the pages, you'll realize that improving your social health isn't just an option, it's a necessity. In The Art and Science of Connection, Killam hands you the tools to not just live longer, but to live better, connected, and whole. Introduction: The Hidden Key to Health and Happiness. In The Art and Science of Connection, Why Social Health is the Missing Key to Living Longer, Healthier, and Happier, Kasley Killam explores one of the most overlooked yet vital components of well-being: social health. While much of modern health discourse focuses on physical and mental health, Killam makes a compelling case for why our social connections, the relationships we build, the communities we belong to, and the ways we interact with others, are critical to our longevity, happiness, and overall quality of life. Killam's argument is grounded in science, drawing from decades of research that show how strong social ties can lower stress, improve immune function, and even extend life expectancy. But this book is not just a scientific treatise on human connection. It is also a deeply practical guide, offering readers actionable steps for building and maintaining meaningful relationships in an increasingly disconnected world. In this comprehensive summary, we will dive deep into the key themes and insights of Killam's book. We'll explore the science behind social health, the detrimental effects of isolation, and the powerful benefits of cultivating strong social ties. Moreover, we will look at how individuals can improve their social health through strategies that foster deeper connections, both in personal relationships and within communities. By the end, you'll not only understand why social health is crucial, but you'll also have practical tools to enhance your own well-being through the art of connection. Part 1: The Foundation of Social Health. 1. What is social health? Killam begins by introducing the concept of social health, which she defines as the state of our relationships and the quality of our interactions with others. Just as physical health encompasses our bodies and mental health pertains to our minds, social health is about how well we connect with other people. It's not simply about having friends or being part of a social network, it's about the depth, authenticity, and positive impact of our relationships. She explains that social health can be measured by the strength of our social support systems, the quality of our interactions, and our sense of belonging to a community. Healthy social connections are those that offer mutual support, respect, and understanding. When we have strong social health, we feel seen, heard, and valued by others. 2. The biological need for connection. Killam delves into the biological basis of our need for connection. Drawing from evolutionary psychology, she explains that humans are wired for social interaction. In ancient times, survival depended on living in groups. Being isolated from the group often meant danger, scarcity, or death. As a result, our brains have evolved to prioritize social bonds. This is why we experience feelings of loneliness and distress when we are socially isolated, and why positive interactions with others can produce feelings of happiness and contentment. Killam introduces the concept of social hormones, such as oxytocin, that are released during positive social interactions. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, is responsible for feelings of trust and bonding between individuals. It lowers stress, reduces blood pressure, and promotes healing, making it a crucial component of both emotional and physical health. The more connected we feel to others, the healthier we become, not just emotionally but biologically. 3. Social health as a predictor of longevity. One of the most surprising revelations in the book is the extent to which social health can predict longevity. Killam cites numerous studies that show how strong social connections can reduce the risk of premature death. In fact, she points out that lacking social connections can be as detrimental to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. People with robust social networks are more likely to survive major illnesses, recover from surgery, and even ward off chronic diseases like heart disease and dementia. The reason for this, Killam explains, lies in the body's stress response. Social isolation triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol, which, over time, can damage the immune system, increase inflammation, and contribute to a range of health problems. On the other hand, social connections buffer against stress by providing emotional support, promoting feelings of safety and security, and encouraging healthier behaviors. Part 2. The consequences of disconnection. 1. The epidemic of loneliness. Killam shifts focus to what she calls the epidemic of loneliness in modern society. Despite living in an age of unprecedented technological connectivity, more people than ever report feeling isolated and lonely. Killam highlights the paradox of social media. While it allows us to connect with others across the globe, it often leads to shallow, superficial interactions that fail to meet our deeper needs for connection. She also points to societal changes that have contributed to this rise in loneliness. Urbanization, the decline of close-knit communities, and the increasing emphasis on individualism have eroded the social fabric that once bound people together. Workplaces have become more transactional, neighborhoods less interactive, and families more fragmented. These trends have left many people feeling disconnected, even when they are surrounded by others. Killam draws on research showing the severe consequences of chronic loneliness. People who feel lonely are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. Loneliness also weakens the immune system, making individuals more susceptible to illness. The effects of loneliness extend beyond the individual, impacting society as a whole through increased healthcare costs and reduced productivity. 2. The stigma of loneliness. Another important theme Killam addresses is the stigma surrounding loneliness. Despite the fact that many people experience feelings of loneliness at some point in their lives, it is often seen as a personal failing or weakness. This stigma prevents people from seeking help or reaching out to others, further exacerbating their sense of isolation. Killam argues that we need to shift our perspective on loneliness. Rather than viewing it as a shameful state, we should recognize it as a natural human experience and a signal that our social needs are not being met. By normalizing discussions about loneliness, we can begin to address it more openly and create environments that foster connection. Part 3. The benefits of strong social connections. 1. The power of social support. One of the key takeaways from Killam's book is the transformative power of social support. She explains that social support can take many forms: emotional, informational, or instrumental, and that all types are essential for well-being. Emotional support involves empathy, care, and encouragement, while informational support includes advice, guidance, or problem-solving. Instrumental support refers to practical help, such as providing resources or assistance with tasks. Killam illustrates the importance of social support with examples from both personal stories and scientific studies. She shares the story of a woman who, after being diagnosed with cancer, found that her close-knit group of friends provided not only emotional comfort but also practical help with her treatment and recovery. This kind of support, Killam argues, is what enables people to face life's challenges with resilience and hope. Research backs up these anecdotes. Studies show that people with strong social support are more likely to recover from illness, cope with stress, and achieve personal and professional success. Social support acts as a buffer against adversity, helping individuals feel less overwhelmed and more capable of handling difficult situations. 2. Social connection and mental health. Killam emphasizes the strong link between social health and mental health. She explains that humans are inherently social creatures, and our mental well-being is deeply tied to our social interactions. Positive relationships and social networks help us regulate our emotions, develop coping strategies, and maintain a sense of purpose and belonging. Social isolation, on the other hand, can lead to a downward spiral of negative emotions. People who are isolated are more likely to ruminate on their problems, experience feelings of worthlessness, and develop mental health conditions like depression and anxiety. Killam highlights the importance of early intervention and community support in preventing and treating mental health issues. By fostering social connections, we can create a more compassionate and supportive society that promotes mental well-being for all. 3. Social health and physical well-being. One of the most fascinating aspects of the book is the discussion of how social health impacts physical health. Killam explains that the benefits of strong social ties extend far beyond emotional support. They also have a direct impact on physical health. People who are socially connected tend to engage in healthier behaviors, such as exercising regularly, eating nutritious meals, and adhering to medical advice. In contrast, socially isolated individuals are more likely to engage in risky behaviors, such as smoking, excessive drinking, or overeating. Killam points out that this is not just due to lack of motivation, but also to the absence of accountability and encouragement from others. Social networks provide positive reinforcement for healthy habits and create a sense of responsibility to others, which can motivate individuals to take better care of themselves. Furthermore, Killam discusses how social connections can lower the body's stress response. When we feel supported by others, our bodies produce less cortisol, the stress hormone that can wreak havoc on our health over time. Lower stress levels translate to a healthier immune system, reduced inflammation, and a lower risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Part 4. How to cultivate social health. 1. Building meaningful relationships. In the final part of the book, Killam offers practical strategies for improving social health. The first step, she explains, is to focus on building meaningful relationships. This involves going beyond surface-level interactions and cultivating deep, authentic connections with others. Killam suggests several ways to foster deeper relationships, including active listening, empathy, and vulnerability. By truly listening to others without judgment and showing empathy for their experiences, we can create a safe space for connection. Vulnerability, she argues, is the key to deepening relationships. When we allow ourselves to be open and honest with others, we invite them to do the same, creating a bond of trust and mutual understanding. Killam also emphasizes the importance of maintaining relationships over time. This requires effort, communication, and a willingness to invest in the people we care about. She suggests simple practices, such as regularly checking in with friends and loved ones, expressing appreciation, and offering support when needed. 2. Creating community and belonging. Beyond individual relationships, Killam stresses the importance of creating a sense of community and belonging. She explains that humans have a fundamental need to feel part of a larger group or community, whether it's a family, neighborhood, workplace, or social organization. Killam argues that in today's hyper-connected yet emotionally distant society, it is more important than ever to actively foster a sense of community. She points out that the decline of traditional social institutions, like churches, community centers, and even close-knit neighborhoods, has left many people feeling adrift, without the support systems that once naturally facilitated social connection. To address this, Killam advocates for the intentional creation of communities, both big and small. This could mean organizing social gatherings in your neighborhood, participating in local clubs or organizations, or even creating digital communities where people can connect over shared interests or goals. The key, she notes, is fostering environments where people feel safe, accepted, and valued. One powerful concept Killam introduces is the idea of microcommunities, small, tight-knit groups that provide consistent support and connection. Whether it's a book club, a sports team, or a professional networking group, these microcommunities can serve as vital sources of emotional support, accountability, and belonging. In these smaller settings, people are more likely to form deeper bonds, as the intimacy of the group allows for vulnerability, trust, and mutual care. 3. The role of technology in social connection. While acknowledging the many pitfalls of modern technology when it comes to social health, Killam also explores its potential as a tool for fostering connection. She offers a balanced perspective, arguing that while technology, especially social media, can sometimes lead to shallow or superficial interactions, it can also be used to build and maintain meaningful relationships if used thoughtfully. Killam provides practical advice on how to use technology in ways that enhance, rather than detract from, social health. She encourages readers to be mindful of how they use social media, suggesting they focus on engaging with people in authentic, positive ways rather than getting caught up in comparison, superficiality, or passive scrolling. She also emphasizes the importance of maintaining a balance between online and offline interactions, reminding readers that face-to-face connection is irreplaceable when it comes to fostering deep, meaningful relationships. She shares several examples of how technology can be a powerful tool for connection, such as video calls that allow families to stay in touch across distances, online communities that bring together people with shared interests, and apps that facilitate real-world social events and meetups. The key, she explains, is to use technology as a supplement to, not a replacement for, genuine human interaction. 4. Strengthening social skills. In a world where social interactions are often rushed, transactional, or mediated by screens, Killam highlights the importance of developing and honing social skills. These skills, such as active listening, empathy, emotional intelligence, and conflict resolution, are essential for building and maintaining healthy relationships. Killam provides readers with practical tips for improving their social skills. For example, she encourages people to practice active listening, which involves fully focusing on the person speaking, avoiding interruptions, and responding with empathy and understanding. By improving their listening skills, individuals can create deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Another key skill Killam emphasizes is empathy, the ability to put oneself in another person's shoes and understand their emotions and perspectives. Empathy, she explains, is the foundation of compassion and connection. It allows people to bridge gaps in understanding, navigate conflicts, and build stronger bonds. She suggests exercises like practicing mindful empathy in daily interactions, actively imagining oneself in another person's position, and showing kindness and patience, even when disagreements arise. Killam also addresses the importance of emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions and the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence, she argues, is a crucial component of social health because it allows individuals to communicate effectively, navigate complex social dynamics, and build resilient, supportive relationships. 5. Overcoming social anxiety and fear of rejection. Many people struggle with social anxiety or a fear of rejection, which can make it difficult to build and maintain relationships. Killam acknowledges these challenges and offers compassionate, practical advice for overcoming them. She explains that social anxiety often stems from a fear of judgment or rejection, and that it can create a vicious cycle of avoidance and isolation. To break this cycle, Killam encourages readers to take small, manageable steps towards social interaction, gradually building confidence and reducing anxiety. She suggests starting with low-pressure environments, such as casual conversations with acquaintances or attending social events with a close friend. Over time, as individuals become more comfortable, they can expand their social interactions and take more risks in forming new connections. Killam also addresses the fear of rejection, which can prevent people from reaching out to others or deepening relationships. She reassures readers that rejection is a normal part of life and that it's often not as personal as it feels. By reframing rejection as an opportunity for growth rather than a failure, individuals can become more resilient and open to new social experiences. Part 5. The broader impact of social health. 1. Social health in the workplace. In addition to personal relationships, Killam emphasizes the importance of social health in the workplace. She explains that social connections at work are essential for both individual well-being and organizational success. Employees who feel socially connected at work are more engaged, productive, and satisfied with their jobs. They are also less likely to experience burnout and are more likely to stay with their company long-term. Killam offers strategies for improving social health in the workplace, both for employees and leaders. For individuals, she suggests actively seeking out opportunities to build relationships with colleagues, whether through casual conversations, collaborative projects, or team-building activities. For leaders, she recommends fostering a culture of connection by encouraging open communication, recognizing and appreciating employees' contributions, and creating spaces for social interaction. She also discusses the importance of empathy and emotional intelligence in leadership. Leaders who are attuned to the emotional and social needs of their employees are better equipped to create a supportive, inclusive work environment where everyone feels valued and connected. By prioritizing social health in the workplace, organizations can enhance not only employee well-being but also overall performance and success. 2. The role of social health in public health. Killam expands the scope of her discussion by exploring the role of social health in public health. She argues that social health should be recognized as a critical component of overall health and well-being, alongside physical and mental health. Public health initiatives, she suggests, should focus not only on promoting healthy behaviors and reducing disease, but also on fostering social connection and community engagement. She highlights several examples of community-based programs that have successfully improved social health and, in turn, physical and mental health outcomes. For instance, neighborhood groups that promote social interaction and mutual support have been shown to reduce crime rates, improve mental health, and increase life satisfaction among residents. Killam advocates for policies that promote social health at the community level, such as creating public spaces that encourage social interaction, supporting programs that connect isolated individuals with social networks, and integrating social health into public health education and interventions. By prioritizing social health, she argues, we can create healthier, more resilient. 3. Social health and global challenges. In the final chapter of the book, Killam takes a broad, global perspective on the importance of social health. She argues that many of the world's most pressing challenges, such as political polarization, social inequality, and environmental degradation, are, at their core, issues of social disconnection. When people feel isolated, divided, or disconnected from one another, it becomes difficult to address these challenges in a collaborative and compassionate way. Killam calls for a global shift toward greater social connection, empathy, and cooperation. She believes that by strengthening social health, both at the individual and societal levels, we can create a more compassionate, just, and sustainable world. She encourages readers to not only focus on their own social well-being but also to advocate for policies and practices that promote connection and community on a larger scale. Conclusion: a call to action for social health. In the art and science of connection, why social health is the missing key to living longer, healthier, and happier, Kasley Killam makes a compelling case for why social health should be at the forefront of our efforts to live better, longer, and more fulfilling lives. Through a blend of scientific research, personal stories, and practical advice, she demonstrates the profound impact that social connections have on our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Killam's message is clear: social health is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Just as we care for our bodies and minds, we must also care for our social relationships and communities. Whether it's building deeper personal connections, creating a sense of belonging in our neighborhoods, or advocating for policies that promote social health on a larger scale, we all have a role to play in fostering connection. The book ends with a call to action, to prioritize social health in our own lives and to contribute to a world where everyone has the opportunity to connect, belong, and thrive. In doing so, we can unlock the true potential of human connection and create a healthier, happier, and more connected world. Please read the book to learn more and consider subscribing to support the channel. Thank you.